Welcome back to PrepperNow. I'm doing PrepperNow first, and I'm going to go on and do the crisis report after. It will be late, but following the debate, I have to come here and give my 2 cents. It's probably going to be the only debate that they do. So hold on real quick. Whoosh. So this is a post-op. I did watch the entire debate, and I thought, it was, my wife said it best. So, I got done. I said, all right, you're the normie. What do you think? So she said, it's exactly as you think it would be. Like, if you're a Democrat, you're going to think she won. If you're a Republican, you're going to think he won. It is what it is. It's just a couple of, people debating up on stage, and here we go. So, I thought I'd come on over to Twitter and take a look at what is trending. That gives a good idea. I looked at Polymarket right before. It was 49 to 49. And, some of the things are wow Trump, damn Trump, moderators. Moderators was definitely rolling. And I think there's a reason for that. I think the moderators, as one person said, it was 3-on-1. Well, I think we all know that is going to happen in these kind of debates. Legacy media is basically the messaging service of the Democrat Party. So there's going to be, the push. If you go out and you look right now, I'm sure every leftist media is putting out a puff piece saying how great Kamala did. I think she did better in the beginning of this than she did towards the end. And I think the real weak spot for her was talking about the war. I don't really think the Democrat Party understands just how weary of war the American citizens are at this point. I don't know about you, but I am absolutely tired of war. I'm tired of always being in war. I'm tired of always being tied to a war in some way. And I think they dropped the ball on that one. So when it got to talking about Afghanistan, when it got to talking about, the Russia and Ukraine especially, she came out with this, this is American values and we want to, uphold everybody's democracy and yada, yada, yada. I think that falls short on people nowadays. There's definitely some things that were said that I had some good quips for Mr. Trump. He did not take them. One of the main ones was at the end when they were doing their closing speech or, statement. Kamala said, I didn't care if they were red or blue or Democrat or Republican. When I was prosecuting people or dealing with victims, I would ask them if they were okay. Now, I would have led it and said, so let me ask the victim of the United States right now suffering through this terrible economy, are you okay right now? How are you doing compared? But he did all right with his, closing statement. I think he hammered immigration a little too hard and should have gone a little bit more towards the economy, but he definitely hit a lot of points. They tried to bait him with some race stuff. They definitely brought out the old talking points. They brought out the Charlottesville thing. They taught, the fine people. That is so debunked and over with. Nobody even cares about that anymore. A few others were brought out. They brought out the, going to the march to the Capitol. He corrected them all that. All that stuff has really been debunked for the most part. They tried to get him on the bloodbath. All of those have been debunked. Every single one of those, once you put a little bit of context in, but it's been so overdone that people know the context that, it's really tough to sell those to people anymore. I thought, nobody really got ahead or whatever. The thing is that, right now, Americans are not doing as hot as they were 4 years ago. Gas was less, gas is coming down now, but the reason why is because we're basically trending towards a recession, even though they're going to bring out all the highfalutin economists to come out and say, oh, we're not going to go into a recession and yada, yada, yada. You mark my words. As soon as November day after comes, the whole thing is going to crap the bed. Whatever, whoever, however. So, Trump was making me laugh with the birds and the cats and dogs thing. I mean, that obviously got people. So if I found this one, oh my gosh, just really funny. John Lovett, said they're eating they're eating the dogs. Yeah, so that was pretty funny. This one right here, Trump, they're eating the dogs. Kamala, I won't take your guns. I stay strapped. And then Joe, of course, is right there. So, in Springfield, they're eating the dogs. There's a picture of Simpsons dogs. So this one really got kind of out there. It is true, I mean, that there are some strange things happening to animals. Now, I don't know who you pin that on or whatever. Maybe you can pin it on just people being poor and, having a tough time right now. But the whole thing is that, so obviously they went with the Simpsons, but yeah. Anyway, this, pretty funny. I mean, you got to admit. But anyway, back to the other things. Let me go to the moderators. I thought this was, interesting. Harris just claimed Trump called, the very fine people thing. So she posted, and that's the thing. It's all of that is so old. I mean, that's like, what is that, 2017? That's like 8 years ago. So that doesn't really sell anymore. So I was looking at Polymarket. Polymarket basically hasn't changed, but you'll won't get anything until tomorrow. Yeah, like right here. So this is where all the fact checking really is. They were saying, oh, he didn't say that. Now, I'm pretty sure Trump screwed up when he first initially said this and said West Virginia governor. But at the end, when he was talking about it, he changed it to Virginia. So he corrected that. But, I mean, this is, all out there. All of this is easy to find. This is not, tough to find. So this will get all posted. So this is all, thing. But that's the thing. I mean, I think they tried to coach Kamala and say, get into a dogfight, bring up some of the old talking points, and right here is the main one. This is the thing. Kamala Harris just refused to take any responsibility for the disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. And at this point, I think she was doing actually pretty well up until right here. And at this point is when it started to change. And he hammered her. And he really went after the military, and then of course she came out and was like, "Oh well, they were disrespected." And then she started to go into how 200 Republicans were against him, and people of Bush. And then she made probably I think the biggest mistake of the night. She touted Cheney, both of them, endorsing her. I mean, Dick Cheney, you don't want that man anywhere near your campaign. Nobody wants him around. There's a reason why you don't see him. Okay? There's a reason. I mean, he's on his fifth heart or something like that. But there's a reason you don't trot out Dick Cheney to go on the campaign trail with you. And she brought him out, and I was like, ooh, I said that to my wife. It's like, ooh, she just screwed up there. So I think it was pretty much a debate draw at this point until the military came up, and at that point, Trump started to take over and, use this. He did really well with the XL pipeline thing and the Nord Stream. He had some missed opportunities, but he still got there. He was a little redundant and stuff, but honestly, he wasn't as bad as I thought he would be with the redundancy. Even my wife said that. He's kind of sticking to his guns, saying what he needs to say, and then kind of turning it off. So she cackled and laughed and smiled and all that, and I don't know. Anyway, so here, there have been no credible reports. So now the fact checking is going to get going. Of course, all the blue folks are going to get out, and they're going to start, trying to debunk all this stuff, and they'll do the community notes thing. So, get ready. I'm not going to post anything on it, but get ready for all that to start to unfold on Twitter. Twitter is a waste of space. I don't spend a lot of time here, but for something like this, you really do get a finger to the pulse of what's going on. And, so as this says right here, Kamala Harris's coverage on ABC has been 100% positive. They literally have said nothing negative about her. Trump's coverage has been 93% negative. So, and Trump knew this. We all know this. So, since the moderators won't fact check her, he says, I'm asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violence. Remember, we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great man and women in blue. Thank you. So, yeah, they tried to pin that on him. They just brought out all the usual old playbook. And the reason why is because they don't have a playbook going forward. And she even brought out the Obama thing by saying, let's go forward, let's move. She brought out the $6,000 credit. I mean, they tried that in 2008 and 2009 with the house credit. I was unfortunately one of the idiots that decided to take that bad deal. And I didn't sell my house again until 2017 when a certain orange man had retaken the White House and thankfully taken quite a considerable loss, but sold my house at that point. And then we've since, made it back. But I don't know if you've been out there and were part of that $8,000 tax credit when Obama was trying to get the housing market started up again. They're basically trying to do it now with a $6,000 one. The problem is, what is $6,000 going to do on a $500,000 house? Look at all the prices. Then she comes up, I was a teenager when my parents went out and bought a house. It's like, man, people are in their 50s before they can afford a house now. So that was, things that kind of were out there that could have been talked about by Trump. But, for the most part, he did his thing, and he hammered her where he needed to hammer. He got a little redundant. He got a little whatever, but not a terrible performance. He didn't ravage her like he did Biden. But then again, that's not hard to do. Ravaging Biden is like, taking candy from a baby. So, Marjorie Taylor Greene said, these moderators are members of the Harris campaign. We all knew that this was going to happen. We knew that she was going to... Hold on, my puppy just came in, and that is never a good thing. All right, go out. Go on. Oh, my God. All right, we're back. Sorry. That's like giving a firecracker to a child. They come out. But anyway, this is all kind of going and talking about the moderators. So the moderators are really the story right now, I think, as what's trending on Twitter. Said ABC won't fact check Kamala promoting a lie about Charlottesville that was debunked 8 years ago. We know that. We all know this. All these are so overdone, and that's the problem. They don't have anything new. So they also were trying to make it sound like they did a good job in Afghanistan by saying, hey, all of our soldiers have come home, and we're not spending all these millions of dollars. It's like, well, yeah, you gave the Taliban an entire military suite of vehicles and high-tech weapons that now they can, furnish an entire army with. So And look at what's going on over there. I mean, if you read what's going on with the Taliban and some of their purity and morality laws that they're unloading, I mean, I would not want to be a female in Afghanistan right now. Also, I mean, who did they invite to the 13 members service on the anniversary? It was not Joe. It was not Kamala. So, typical stuff there. Let's go to Donald. You're going to get more of the blue here. The blue, the blue are going to be the blue. Yeah, this is one that kind of blew up in her face too. Said Donald Trump left us the worst attack on democracy since the Civil War. 9/11 is tomorrow. It's the 23rd anniversary of it. Can't believe it's been that long. It's, there's numerous things that have happened that are much worse than what happened to January 6th. January 6th was basically, anyway, it was not good, but not in the same classification as 9/1 to the 1. So yeah. Now my cat's in here. What's up, Moose? How you doing, bud? Yeah. So I gotta say, these are great. The pictures. That was well timed, Moose. Good job, buddy. That's my cat, Moose. We got 2 cats. I love my cats. They will not be ravaged by any new neighbors. These pictures, man, coming out of on AI, putting Trump like protecting cats is. I gotta tell you, it's kind of made my day today. I was showing my wife. We're cracking up about it. I mean, just fantastic. So, cats and ducks. We know who they're voting for. Man, that picture of the guy walking down the street with a bird. I don't know if it's real or not, but anyway. Yeah. So right here, this is 13 hours ago. So we'll see where everything goes. Yeah. That's why Trump really, I said it this morning in my video. Thanks for the people that saw it. If you didn't, I did a little pre-op where I was talking about, what he needs to do. He needs to be succinct. He needs to not just blather on, and he needs to hammer the economy. And the main thing is that the economy is not doing well. David Murr tried to take that out of his playbook too, because he asked one of the questions and he kind of phrased it that way to get it out in the way early. I think that was strategic. Everything I think they did was strategic, but I think they messed up by putting the war stuff towards the end, because that's kind of when the tide turned, in my opinion. So anyway, yeah, I don't know who or what this guy is, but you get the point. Yeah, so now everybody's coming and fact checking and putting it all out there. I mean, look at the inflation right now. It's terrible. So let me bring on over here. This is where we were. This is Real Clear Politics. Real Clear Politics is where I went to when I was getting my political science degree, and it's what we use the most because it was very down the middle. And I got my degree obviously before all of the craziness of our current left versus right paradigm. So anyway, I just wanted to put this all up here and kind of see what's going on. And here we are. Yeah, we're reaching for a game changer moment. If you look right now, they've got Harris by 1. I don't know. I don't think so. I think Nate Silver is probably a little bit better. So, right here, they've got Electoral College map right now, pretty much. They've got on this states like Virginia in play. I mean, the fact that Virginia is in play is really a testimony to how things have changed, and that should be a pretty dire warning to the Democrats. Virginia has not been in play for many years. I mean, I think what's his name from Fox News called it after 1% in, which I thought was pretty darn suspect. I'm pretty familiar with Virginia, former resident. My brother and parents live in the state, so I've got a finger on the pulse there. It's, that's a pretty big sign right there. So one thing that he didn't talk about was this word right here, rhymes with Smencer Smip. He could have definitely kind of gone on there and talked about rights. That's a big thing for me as a voter. I could care less about, talking about all the crazy crap going on in the world and protecting my cats and everything. We've got methods to do that here. But I want rights. I want my freedom. I want my freedom of security. I want my freedom of speech. I want, he really could have hammered him on the fact, and he did. That's just actually a good point he made. When she comes out and she started saying, oh, he's been indicted and he's been arrested and he's been this and that. And he basically came out and said, look, you guys weaponize the DOJ and all of these things are going on, and most of them have basically been chucked out because, what you guys have been doing is weaponizing to take out your political opponent, and it was a good play. It's definitely a good play. So my cat has just climbed on me. Hi, buddy. I know. I hear you. So I think he's afraid. I think my cat is afraid that Orange Man Bad will not win, and he might become Jean-Claude's meal for the night. I will have myself a cat. Yeah. So anyway, that's kind of my thoughts on everything. So I'm kind of hoping to get some polls and everything and see it. The poly market basically hasn't changed yet, but now all the talking heads are going to come. And what's going to happen now is they're going to come out and they're going to say how wonderful Kamala did and how great she is and how she held her own and blah, blah, blah. And, what Trump was talking about was tired old talking points and she's the path forward. I mean, where the playbook's going to go. But honestly, the things that they were talking about, $50,000 for small businesses. You know how many small businesses have lost their job, their gigs and their business in the last 3.5 years? I mean, it's astronomical. I know at least 50% of all restaurants since Rona have been lost. So running a restaurant is not easy. And, goodbye, Mr. Moose. Yeah, running a restaurant is not easy, and they can use all the help. But, I mean, $50,000, that'll what? Make your operating costs for about a month or so, and probably the payback and all that is going to be astronomical and terrible. So, go back to Twitter. Let's see what's trending now. They're eating the dogs. Yeah, so all of this is, like my wife said, it's neither here nor there. I mean, if you're pro-Trump, you're going to be, with Trump. If you're pro-Kamala, you're going to be with Kamala. There's not really that many people out there left, but I think the vast majority of people know that what's going on in the country right now is not good. We're trending in a bad way. People are worried about, their jobs. They're worried about their ability to go on vacation. I was talking about my dad. My mom and dad called me in the middle of it and said, how do you think he's doing? I said, before the war thing. I said, he's all right. She's not doing as poorly as people expected, but at the same time, like my wife said, they're going to basically, if you're blue, you're blue. If you're red, you're red. But my dad was, just kind of screaming about how they're not talking about the kitchen table stuff. And that's the main thing. I mean, you got to talk about the kitchen table stuff. You got to talk about when Trump talked about bacon and, your price of food and stuff like that. That was a good play. He had some good ones. He did. But some of the things they were saying, I think he didn't do good on the healthcare one. She kind of hammered him on that one and said, basically he doesn't have a healthcare thing. He said, well, we're looking into it. What I would have said is, well, there's so many problems right now that are overtaking what our look into healthcare is. Like, we're working on it right now, but I've got to worry about getting people to their jobs to keep and their inflation down and yada, yada, yada. So this one says, Wisconsinites State Fair say they don't like Donald Trump personally, but are voting for him because of his record of achieving success for the American people. So, nobody likes to hear Donald Trump speak. Let's be honest. I mean, some people do, but like most people, they don't want to hear someone go on and on and on. They want to go to their jobs, and they want to make their money, and they want to have their fun on their weekend and be with their people, and then move on with their lives and not have to worry about all the craziness, not have to worry, going into Aldi and seeing eggs at $4 for a 12-pack. People don't want that. People don't want $5, $6 for ground beef when, 5 years ago it was 99 cents for a pound. People don't want that. People want their economy to be successful. They want to be able to do nice things for themselves. So when you don't have that, it really starts to change the game. And I think we all know that things are not better now than they were 4 years ago. Things are pretty rough for most people. We have basically not turned on our AC or heater or anything in the last week. We're trying to go the entire month without it on. Why? Because we're trying to save $100. I come here and do my thing because, this makes me a little side hustle money. I'm doing a bunch of music gigs in late September, October, because, I got a side hustle there to make money. I got to do whatever I can to make my money because things are so expensive. We're going up this weekend for the service of my wife's grandfather. And we're not staying. We could have stayed and gotten a hotel, but they're $150 now for like base level stuff, $120 to $150. And we're like, you know what? We'll leave early. We'll see everybody, and then we'll just drive back and get back late at night because we don't want to spend the money on a hotel. We weren't making these kind of decisions 2 years ago. It's pretty bad. It really is. And we're not, we're not hurting, but we're not doing great. So I can't imagine people that are trying to work 2 jobs, 3 jobs, and I used to do that. I mean, there was a time when I was working 2 and 3 jobs. I can't imagine what those people are thinking right now. How are they trying to get by? How are they going to get by? When you're going in and you're dropping $40 because that's all you can do for 4 or 5 days of groceries, and you're coming out and, you barely have enough for 3 or 4 days. That's happening right now. So all of this is weighing on people's pockets, and I really think it matters what she said tonight. I think most people's minds are made up. I think most people know, and he did a good job at the end of tying her to the current state of things. I think most people know that she is, the administration right now, and they're just not going well. They're not. People are not doing well. People are having problems. People are not making ends meet the way they used to. People are trying to go out. I mean, I did the side hustle question the other night. So many people weighed in and said, yeah, I've got a side hustle. I do this. Yeah, I got to do this. That shouldn't be the norm. It should be, a few, some of us, but not all of us. So all of this is, oh man. So I don't know. Do you guys think the debate moderators were fair? Do you think, they were what you expected, or do you think they went overboard with the bias? If you thought they were super biased, put a 1. If you thought they were about what you expected or less, put a 2. I thought they were about what I expected. I expected as much. It's ABC. So I don't watch their channel. It's probably the first time I've been on ABC in 3 years. So yeah, Marsh Hawk, thank you for being a member. 1, Coughlin 1. Thank you, Michael, for the 94. 1.5, 2, 1 to 2. Yeah, Rip Curl, brother. Good to see you, man. Thank you for being here, sir. Yeah, it is what it is. It's what I expected. Like I said, I'm worried about rights, folks. Rights and money, and not in that order. You got to be able to pay for stuff. You got to be able to prep and put stuff away. But at the same time, you got to be able to protect yourself. You got to be able to say what you need to say so you can redress your grievances, which is outlined in our Constitution. So, yeah, it was a debate. It's what we expected. So right now, what's trending is all of those. Shut it down. See what's going on with that one. Anyway. Right. I refuse to be the thespian in the Speaker's Failure Theater. I don't know what that is. Anyway, political theater. Shutting down our government. Oh, okay. So to protect our elections from illegal. So, okay, I guess there's people talking about shutting down the. Why don't you just create bills and just keep putting them in there and making it so they turn them down, and then go to the cameras? Shutting down. Do I want the government to waste our money? No, but I don't think it'll do as well as they think. This kind of stuff blows up in your face. So shutting it down before an election is probably not the smartest. But anyway, I just wanted to pop on over and give some thoughts. I'm sure that tomorrow Harris will get a little bit of a bump, but not much. And here in 2 weeks it'll all be equalized again. And I reiterate, 2016, Trump was down by 7 or so. 2020, he was down by 7 or even more. And then, because people don't talk about how they're going to vote for him, I think this time people know where the country is heading if things do not go the way of the GOP. So. All right, friends, I'm going to take it on over to the Crisis Report, where I've got my report ready, and we will see you here. If you can, hit that like button, do all that kind of stuff. It is good to see you. And, if you could be cool, JFlow, you can be a member, $2 a month, less than a gas station coffee at this point. Or just keep coming back. I'm happy you're being here. It's good to see Rip Curl, for sure, brother. It was a debate, folks. Here we are. So we're going to take it on over the Crisis Report. I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.